Live it.
Armed security men remove tents provided by NADMO for victims of the Ajay Kojo demolition in Tema.
Her face showed dejection, depression, and frustration. She could not hold back her tears.
Ye wa hotobu de ba no o ma sa be twi yeso atu ha tent kro o ma fix ya ma ye kro mo be yi tent no mu de ko fiti anu asa de ye ti hoi sara na ye ti amade achi sesi aso ye ma wo school so mo ba sesi a hefa no mo betina mo ni be bi atina.
The Tema Development Corporation, together with armed police and military men, demolished about 150 houses at Ajay Kojo, leaving hundreds of people homeless. The corporation accused residents of encroaching on its lands, but the affected residents maintain they legitimately bought the land from the chiefs in the area. The TDC has since been condemned for the inhuman manner with which the exercise was carried out. The National Disaster Management Organization, in its attempt to assist, provided tents, mats, foodstuff, and other items to make life easier for these victims. Unfortunately, we can report that those tents were taken away last night by officials, some security men who were there in the area. My name is Brighton Anamfo. Thanks so much for staying there for today's big story. We'll be trying hard to speak to NADMO, some victims, as well as the Metropolitan Chief Executive for Tema, to find out exactly what is happening to these victims of Ajay Kojo, who are still there, the very place that their houses were demolished. And very soon, one of the victims, Mauto, will join me on phone to tell us exactly what happened. Last night, my colleague Matilda Wemega was there, and she saw security men made away with tents that were provided by NADMO, leaving these victims sleeping in the open there. And soon we'll be speaking to Mauto, one of the victims of the Ajay Kojo there. I'm told Mauto is not available now, but Salia is on the line now. Now, thanks so much for staying there for us. Hello, Salia. We're trying hard to establish contact with one of the victims. Salia, if you can hear me clearly, where exactly are you now?
I am at Ajukuju East.
Right. Last night, we're told that armed security men took away tents that were provided by NADMO. Yeah. Can you confirm this?
Yeah, exactly. Yesterday, around 10:30 to 11 that week, we are around when the policemen and the fishermen came that but they want to take all the things. So they took some of the things away. And they promised us that well, today probably they will be coming for the rest. And what has happened is very, 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 very hectic for us because you know we have a wife and kids when they are sleeping inside. I particularly took my own away. I'm having five children with my wife. Yesterday we slept outside.
Do you know how many tents precisely they took away, and how did the people whose tents were taken away spend the night?
Yeah, at my side there, the place they matched for me, they took two away. Because I'm the organizer of the association over here, and one of the executive members, his tent was taken away yesterday. So
how did the people sleep?
That is the thing we are feeling. We are feeling for people to come to our aid. Because, sir, what we are passing through here is very, 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 very difficult for us to stand against it. Because it's a very, very hectic for us. It's a very, very hectic task for us.
Those whose tents were taken away slept in the open. You saw children and women sleeping in the open?
Yes, exactly. Because I and my wife and the children, we slept outside yesterday. I'm having five children. So we slept outside yesterday, openly.
Now they promised coming back today for the rest. Have you seen them around today?
You know, they have made a camp in our top, at the top of us. So they will wait at the night, then they come down. And as I'm speaking to you, some of the children, when they are asleep at the night, they will be crying. Said that they wanted to shoot me. They wanted to shoot me. They wanted to shoot me. While they are asleep, say.
Even when the security men are not around, the children will be crying because of what they have seen them do, perhaps during the day.
Yes, sir. Exactly.
And how are you parents coping with this and your children around?
That is the problem we are facing right now, sir. We don't know what to do. And we have nowhere to go. As at now, we have no money to go and rent rooms. Why? Look, you yourself, imagine, as a truck driver, how can you get money to go and rent right now? And yet still, they are sacking us from here. What they are doing, we want the authorities to come inside so that they talk in behalf of us. You see, they should talk in behalf of us because it's a very, very serious thing we are going through. You will be sleeping and they will be holding guns at you. Why if you are not an robber like that? And they will be pointing guns at you.
It is 6 p.m. now, and most of you perhaps might be returning to the place to spend the night.
Yeah.
What is the fear as you get ready to sleep tonight?
We don't know what to do. As I'm speaking to you, I'm at the site right now. I'm thinking with my wife how we can do this evening because before we can spend the night. And we don't know where to go, sir. After now, we don't know what to do.
You don't even have the tent. It was taken away yesterday.
Yes. The tent was taken away yesterday, so we don't know where to sleep now.
How are your children going to spend the night? Where would they spend the night?
Yesterday we slept outside.
You mean?
And today probably we are going to sleep outside. That is the fear we are fearing that world. Maybe the West will fall sick. And if they fall sick, as at now we don't get anything to get them to hospital. We don't know what we are going to do right now. As I'm speaking to you right now, just 3 days now when someone gives birth, and he's sleeping outside.
With a newborn baby?
Yes, sir. He's sleeping outside right now. And they promised that today they will be coming for the tent. So if they come for the tent this night, where is he taking the children to?
Right. Don't drop the line yet. Let me speak to the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive, Mr. Isaac Odampton. Now, thanks so much for joining us. Has this issue of armed security men taking away tents provided by NADMO to victims of the demolition exercise, has it come to your notice, sir? Hello, Mr. Odampton.
Yes, I'm on the line.
Thanks so much for joining us on the big story. Now, victims of the Ajay Kojo demolition last night, armed security men went there, took away tents provided by a NADMO, obviously to ask them to leave the place. It happened around 10:30 p.m. Has it come to your notice?
Yes, snippets of that information reached me through my NADMO Metro NADMO coordinator.
And NADMO coordinator told you what precisely should the assembly do or NADMO do?
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. I should have done that. But basically, we are aware of the challenge we've had at Ajekojo. At the moment, what we have on hand is the relief intervention required for the victims of the demolition exercise. And we have so far provided about 14 or more tents for the affected families. The information we got is that one or two tents were seized by the National Security Task Force that undertook the exercise.
Oh, okay, so Mr. Adamti, you are confirming that they are National Security Task Force?
Oh yes, the exercise has been taken by the National Security. That's to the best of my knowledge, and that's what I know it is.
Have they told you, NADMO coordinator? You said you were briefed by the NADMO coordinator. Has it also?
Yeah, I was there. I was personally present when the National NADMO coordinator, Honorable Kofi Potufe, donated the tents. I was there. These were support from UNHCR.
Right.
And so I am aware that we've provided tents. But this issue of seizure is what I'm responding to, that I was just informed this morning, and I have followed up to find out. I think there is going to be time. Obviously, they are monitoring the situation to ensure that miscreants don't get into the area. As for the victims, the affected families, we are still concerned. That is why we are, through NADMO, providing the relief interventions required to take care of them.
Yes, Mr. Adamti, some contradiction here. NADMO is providing these relief items, and yet national security operators are taking away the tents.
I don't think the issue is about they taking away the tent. I think there was an action by the task force, and so we have intervened. I think we'll be getting feedback on the situation.
What action are you referring to here? The taking away of the tents?
Yes, because those who are affected by that tent reported to the assembly member, and because they are victims, we need to deal with the humanitarian crisis we have on hand, and that is what we are attending to.
I'm sure you have a lot of information. Why did National Security take away the tents provided by NADMO for to keep these victims safe?
It's not like they've taken the information I have. Okay. It's not like they've taken everything.
Mr. Adamson, hold the line. Don't drop the line. I have a victim on the line from Ajekojo, Salia. Mr. Salia, can you hear me?
Please, I'm hearing you.
Right. The Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive wants to know precisely what happened. He has confirmed that national security operators actually undertook an exercise there. Can you confirm what they did there last night around 10:30 p.m.?
Yes, sir. They took the tent away. They took 2 tents at the place I'm sleeping. They took it personally, my own personal, they took it away, along with one of the senior elders' tents.
And what did they tell you why they were taking the tents away?
They said that yesterday was the last day for us, so today probably they will be coming for the rest. So we should pack our things outside the tent, so they will come for it.
Right. Stay on the line. Don't drop the line yet. Mr. Danton, it means that indeed the national security operatives are undertaking some form of exercise. But even if the deadline was yesterday, do you think it was right for them to have taken away the tent at 10:30 p.m. when families were asleep?
Yeah, I think you have a very concern for myself. The task force may have information that we are not seized with.
What kind of information they could have that would warrant them taking away tents under which children, women were sleeping at 10:30 p.m.?
Maybe beyond this point, I may have to complete my briefing with my coordinator and also get more information. But what I do know is that we have over 14 tents there, or about 14 tents. And so what I was alluding to before you came in again is the fact that they are conducting an exercise. And so it's not a swoop to get everyone out of the place. I want to believe that if they targeted something, they would have to show cause why. But probably to the extent that we can get that information, we can always come back to you and explain. But I think that the situation is under control. We will take steps to deal with the situation. We've indicated that the people require our support in this trying moment. It's not been an easy situation for the residents, and we'll continue to support them. So I'm sure there will be calm this evening, contrary to what instruction they say has been given.
And you seem to have a lot of information once again. Can you also confirm that the task force will be there today to continue perhaps taking away of the tents?
No, that will not happen because they are part of the system, and we have to ensure that the human relief support we are giving the people really get down to them. There should be a gradual process of relocating the people, please.
You talked about an exercise. Exactly what is involved in here, apart from caring for victims of the demolition?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm referring to. The fact that they are victims, and as we do for both foreign and local nationals, there is the need for intervention, and that is what we are doing.
Mr. Odampton, thanks so much for joining us on the big story. Mr. Isaac Osei Odampton is the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive. Salia is still on the line. I also try and speak to Mr. Kofi Potofi of NADMO to find out exactly if NADMO is aware or has instructed the national security operatives to take away these. But Salia, before I let you go, at least you have an assurance from the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive that the national security operators will not be there this evening to take away your tent, the rest of the tents. How do you feel now?
I feel relieved more because we don't know. Maybe the way our fathers have talked right now, maybe they will think of otherwise. But we'll be happy that they will do according to what our father has said.
Mr. Salia, thanks so much for speaking to us. He is a victim of the Ade Kojo land demolition there, talking to us about what happened last night. A colleague, Matilda Wemega, spent the night there at Ade Kojo where the demolition exercise took place, and whilst there around 10:30 p.m., armed security men, which has been confirmed by the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive to be national security operatives, went in there and took away tents under which women, children were sleeping for the night around 10:30 p.m. That is what happened. And according to information we're getting, these women and children had to sleep in the open throughout the night. They were told that the next day, which is today, the national security operators would again go there and take away more of the tents that were provided by NADMO. But we've been assured by the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive that at least the security operators would not be there today. And we're trying to get to speak to Mr. Kofi Potofi, the national coordinator of the National Disaster Management Organization, if indeed NADMO has instructed national security to go there and remove the tent, obviously, to get them to relocate from the site. But for now, we're still trying hard to get Mr. Kofi Portofi, and we're also trying to speak to Amnesty International. I mean, the treatment being given to these people, if indeed they justified. Mr. Lawrence Amesu is with Amnesty International, and he joins me on phone. Mr. Amesu, thanks so much for your time.
Hello.
Mr. Amesu, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Now, I'm sure what is happening at J. Kojo has come to your notice. Over 200 houses demolished. Victims are still sleeping there. And NADMO went in to provide some tents. We can confirm to you that last night at about 10:30 p.m., armed security men, whom the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive has confirmed and identified as national security operatives, went in there and took away these tents at about 10:30 p.m. First of all, let me pick your reaction to such behavior. Let me put it that way.
Thank you very much, my brother. All along, Amnesty International has been drawing attention to the fact that people who live in slums, or people who live in it that we say they are living there illegally, are still human beings, and their human rights should be protected all times. We are very surprised that even after breaking down all those buildings, and people are living in outside their buildings, and they are living under tents with little children as young as 3 months. People should go in midnight and still break down their tents. I think it has now gone beyond human rights abuse. This is callousness. And I think that we should call the president's attention to this situation now. It is important for some heads to roll. Then people can begin to appreciate that no matter what a person's situation is, status is in the society, that person should be respected. The human rights of those people should be respected. I think we have gone beyond human rights abuse now. This should be described as callousness and some heads to roll. To be a kind of a precedent for other people to behave other than what is happening now in our country.
Should society head to the court? I mean, for in order to right some of these wrongs?
Can you repeat your question?
I'm asking that should civil society perhaps head to the court to right some of these wrongs?
Yeah, and it's important for us to take action at this time, because when the issue came in first, I was thinking that, well, maybe it was going to be a one-time issue. But it appears that the CMA is doing this with impudence, and we should now take action quickly. Somebody has to take an action. You have to go to the court to protect people's lives at this point of time.
Perhaps is Amnesty itself interested in taking the lead?
Unfortunately, Amnesty does not have this mandate. We can only draw attention. We can only draw attention to abuses of human rights. Unfortunately, we are not given a mandate to take people to the court. That is our limitation.
Mr. Amesu, thanks so much for speaking to us. Mr. Lawrence Amesu is with Amnesty International Ghana, and we're trying hard to speak to Mr. Kofi Portofi. He's not picking. We're told that the phone is off, but we'll get you more on this particular issue later on at 8 p.m. Mr. Kofi Portofi agreed to speak to us before we got into the studios, but his phone is off as of now, and we'll get you more on this very particular issue. But the Tema Metropolitan Chief Executive has confirmed that the armed security men who took away tents of the victims of the Ajay Kojo land demolition last night at 10:30 p.m. were national security operatives. Wrapping up the first part of the show for the big story for today. We have the interactive segment coming up, and don't forget the NPP is in the news. Now, do we go for a decentralized election or a centralized election? The NPP has more to tell us when we get interactive with Gladys. Stay there. I'm coming back in a moment. Can catch Reporters Block every Sunday right here on Joy News. But time now to talk about a big story, interactive segment. The NPP is in the news. First March, the party will go to the polls to elect national executive. But there are more issues than what you're seeing. Gladys, welcome.
Thank you.
Some members of the party are simply not happy about the way the party is going about with the elections.
Damboche is shocked to hear they lack funds to organize the national elections.
The NPP has money. Yeah,
well,
big money.
Yeah,
Kennedy, Japan, and the rest.
Well, but it looks like some of them, the MPs, are being taxed to pay 6,000 each to help organize the national elections.
Let's see what our viewers will say. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dada. So this is where I get a chance to get interactive with you right here on Joy News on Multi-TV. Okay, so I just can't wait to talk the issue we have to talk about today. We are talking about NPP. So get your comments coming through, get glued on your set, and let's get interactive right here. My name is Gladys Osei, and like I said, we are talking NPP. So the former General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party and Member of Parliament for Okere, Danboche, is shocked the NPP is unable to raise funds for its national elections. Well, so he says the call for the minority MPs to contribute 6,000 Ghana cedis each for the organization of the national election is neither here nor there. All right, so luckily Joy News chanced on a letter from the chairman of the NPP, Jake Obechebi-Lamptey, indicating the party is unable to raise funds for a National Delegates Congress. The issue has generated debate among party members, with the Member of Parliament for Nsanwem, Fred Opare Ansa, writing a letter to the party reminding them of breaching its own constitution by opting for a decentralized election. So the party's Member of Parliament for Okere, Danboche, said he does not understand why the NPP cannot raise funds for its Delegates Congress. Well, you can join this conversation, send your comment, your view, your opinion on this topic via our social media platforms. You could do that on facebook.com/joynewsontv. You could send a tweet to twitter.com/joynewsontv. The handle is @joynewsontv or #JNInteractiveGH. Or you could also email us via joynewsim@multitvworld.com. So keep your comments coming through. But as I was telling you, Danboche also said lack of proper communication has led to the current predicament the party finds itself in, which, according to him, could have been avoided. Danboche disclosed the minority caucus of the party contributes between 30 and 35,000 cedis every month into the coffers of the party, and wondered what the money has been used for. He asked the party to petition the National Council, which has 40 MPs, to find a solution to the current uncertainty surrounding the party's national executive elections. Right, so let's listen to Danboche making his take on the issue.
That if it was necessary to raise funds, we could raise those funds. But it has not been brought to our attention that we need to. In any case, in all congresses, and as I have been the General Secretary, it's not as if we always have some money locked down in our accounts, that this money have been put there to organize a regional, a national delegate conference. No. At National Delegate Center, we made appeals. There are those who come and donate water to us, others who donate food. Somebody says, okay, I will cook for about, say, 1,000 people or 500 people. Others made donations. Somebody says, okay, I will take the fare for those who will be coming from the further distance. I'll take care of their transport. So that's how parties are organized anyway. We don't lack money that we have this money for conference. And it has been done from, as far as I can remember, from 92, people have always sponsored these activities. People have made donations for this, and we can still make it. to organize the conference at one center. We can raise the money to do that. We just had a regional conference. If this decision was communicated to party members, for example, at the regional congress, which was held about a week ago, throughout the country, and it was explained to people why maybe we'll meet again at this regional level to have such a conference, it might have been maybe understood. But it has come as a shock to people, and the reason that is coming out that we could not do this because of money, because we could not raise money, because ability of parties to raise funds, fundraising is a very, very, very important aspect of party organization. I must say that when they decentralize it, it will not affect the quality of the elections in any way, because the same delegates will vote and the electoral commission will supervise it at the regional level. Again, the deliberative process will even be better. The secretary's report can be discussed better at the regional delegates level. The treasurer's report, which should be made available to the regional delegates, will also can be discussed and looked at even better because it will be a smaller number. All those things will be a better advantage for us.
So you heard the former General Secretary of the NPP, Dan Boche. Well, we also spoke to some NPP MPs, and they had their own share of opinions.
Before we used to meet to select a presidential candidate, if you remember, in Legon. Last time round, we did it in our constituencies, and it didn't work. So if there's a way, if we can find a way around it, I'm all for it. However, I want to avoid all the legal pitfalls that will come into play. So they should go back, look at the legal pitfalls, look at interested parties, bring everybody on board, and make sure that whatever decision we take, it's a decision that will take the party forward. I do not believe in taking the party to court because of this and that and that and that. It's essentially want to cast our vote for or elect our officers. If we have to do it from even the constituencies, so be it.
To say is that at a certain level, a decision has been taken, but a higher body will have to come in. Below Congress is the National Council. The National Council is a very large body, so we have to agree to maybe convene a National Council and then interrogate this matter very well and come to a consensus. The National Executive, they're saying that the major hindrance is the fact that we don't seem to have enough funds to hold one of Congress. This morning, the caucus met. We've looked at certain scenarios, and I'm sure when we meet, maybe at the National Council level or even with the steering committee, we should be able to come out with a solution.
I don't think the time frame that we have to organize this national election is that long that we need to take chances. So it's better we sit up now and look at the way forward. We shouldn't go to court now because going to court will stall the whole event and it's going to bring a whole lot of politicization and other things that will derail our revamping exercise.
Well, so somebody was saying interesting issues there. Well, let's see what you have been posting on our WhatsApp. We posted the issue there, and you have been adding your comments to our WhatsApp page. So let's see. Emmanuel Johnny says, this is the time NPP needs to keep their head together and work as united people. I see no reason why there should be jealousy or something among them. That's coming from Emmanuel Johnny. All right, let's see. Tenny Raphael says, interesting. Tenny Raphael thinks it's interesting. And San Derek says they need to consult Kennedy for the fund. Okay. Daniel Jacobo says, corruption everywhere. How can we trust a party who is even in opposition and embezzling money? Daniel Jacobo, that's repeated. Well, Benjamin Azing Nogo says, confused people. Sir John is always talking wayward. This is the reason they want to come to power. Wasted so many months in court. Benjamin, let's see. Kojo Dro Dankwa says, amazing, and the target is the MPs because that's the cash flow of the nation. let me just take my last WhatsApp comment, and that is coming from Ansa Derek again. He says, NPP is in financial crisis. How sure are you, Derek? Okay, so let me, okay, so I believe, Ansa, you are my last WhatsApp comment. Let's. Okay, so what we have been talking about on JN Interactive today, the former General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party and member of the Parliament for Okere, Dan Boche, is shocked the NPP is unable to raise funds for its national elections. Well, so he says the call for the minority MPs to contribute 6,000 Ghana cedis each for the organization of the national election is neither here nor there. So Joy News chanced on a letter from the chairman of the NPP, Jake Obechebi-Lamptey, indicating the party is unable to raise funds for a National Delegates Congress. The issue has generated debate among party members, with a member of parliament for Nsawam, Fredo Paransa, writing a letter to the party reminding it of breaching its own constitution by opting for a decentralized election. The party's member of parliament for Okere, Dan Boche, said he does not understand why the NPP cannot raise funds for its delegates Congress. He also said lack of proper communication has led to the current predicament the party finds itself in, which, according to him, could have been avoided. Dan Boche disclosed the minority caucus of the party contributes between 30 and 35,000 cedis every month into the coffers of the party, and wondered what the money has been used for. So he asked the party to petition the National Council, which has 40 MPs, to find a solution to the current uncertainty surrounding the party's national executive elections. Well, so we have been taking your comments on JN Interactive. Very soon we'll be crossing over to talk to my colleague Anio Sabute. But before we do that, let me just catch a breather here. You are watching JN Interactive, and today we have been talking NPP. Right, so let's see what you have been saying on our Facebook. Okay, so we posted the former NPP General Secretary and Member of Parliament for Okere, Dan Boche, is shocked the NPP is unable to raise funds for its national elections. He has therefore dismissed calls from minority MPs to contribute 6,000 Ghana cedis each to help raise funds to organize the NPP's national election. What do you make of the NPP's situation? So you have been sharing your thoughts with us. Emerson Wright Phillips says, oh, NPP, they should come for loan. And Sir Derek says, it's quite flattering. NPP for real. Okay, Alex Blankson says, Paul Afoko can help, so we must seek help from him and leave the MPs alone. Well, Patrick Redu says, borrow from NDC, problem solved. Gabriel Befi Adbako says, you just heave a sigh. Okay, Champomao Fosu says, a laudable idea. Which one is a laudable idea? Okay. Echo says, probably the time for accountability is due. The MPs should contribute if they think it will win them the 2016 elections. Rex Bash, #bash, says, happy mood activated. Okay, well. Nana Curtis says, I'm ready to contribute $2,000 as a staunch party member. Jake or John should inbox me, please. Okay, so you quickly add your address and I'll give that to Jake and Sir John. Van Fifi Johnson says, Chia, you see how uneasy to be at the opposition? It's now clear that when they were in power, they never spared our little money. Mona mo share hono. Okay, mona mo share hono. Share in this trap. No actually Bella. Okay, so that's from Fifi Johnson. Safodi Raphael says they confuse. Okay. Nikki K says Merchant Bank is on board or go for loan. Michael Ajana says, chia is a lie. Today I have too many chias. Okay, let's see. Felix Kingdom says, hey, another chia here, Felix. Okay, so he says, chia, NPP, if you can't raise funds for your party, how can you raise funds for the country? So you're asking them. All right, so let's see. Okay, I'll do also mention this name, Colonacorin Johnson. Hey, this was the reason why they were fighting a loose fight in court. They just used public purse to expand their electoral delegates when they were in office. This is clear that they spent our money in their party activities, but they should wait. It shall be more difficult after 2016 general elections. You smell more of some other party? Okay. Gilbert Asylum says, oh, what a shame. Well, Demides Simon says, NPP lacks vision and able leadership. Hey, Charlie, me too, I do. Okay, so things are falling apart in the party. Let's see. Let me just take the last one. Osman Double says, it is not by the what, but let me just take one I can read. Let's say Tricia Nova says, they now know that the real colors of Jake and Sir John. Well, it served them right. What happened after the decentralized election of okay, so Tricia, I'll come back to just continue your comments. Let me quickly okay, right, so let's see. Okay. Okay, I'm just trying to meddle a bit with technology here. Forgive me. Okay, so let me try. I'm trying to call my colleague, Ani Osabute, so we can get his take on this. He has been, I think he's been part of the meeting that the NPP caucus held to deliberate on whether they should tax each MP to pay the 6,000, or they should rather, the executive should come together and find out a solution rather than taxing each of them to pay 6,000. And hey, Annie, pick my call. Let's talk. Let's get us updated how far that meeting went, and then let's see. Okay, right. So sometimes it happens, but let me just take a breather here. Maybe I need that. And then when we come back, I sure would have a new Sabute. We definitely need the upbeat from him concerning the NPP, whether they are broke or not. My colleague Annie Osabute, who works with Joy FM, has joined us via Skype, and we are finding out from Annie. Annie, how did the meeting go with the NPP? Are they broke?
Well, essentially, like you said, whether they are broke or not, I'm not too sure if I'm in the position to answer. But the meeting was called at the behest of the National Council of Health, and one of the key things that has come up has to do with their Congress that is coming up. And there were a lot of disagreement because it was a closed-door meeting. Let me mention. So, the journalists were not allowed to go in there. And even afterward, I tried to speak to some of the officials, but they would not respond to it. But later on, the information I got was that most of the members of the council tried form of what called a meeting, where, for example, they prefer that all of them converge at one place and elect their executives. So the reason that was given for the fact that, look, the current executive will have to provide details of and the status of accounts and the position of the party, which can not be done when it is done at the regional level.
But so what in effect, what exactly are they saying they're going to do? Are they going to insist and have it within time, or because of that it is going to be rescheduled?
You know that the conference is placed on the 1st of March. So from look of things, they have time. And if you've listened to any, and I've seen on most of the footage and the interviews that you played with some of the, they favor a centralized form of electoral process or a conference. And so where, for example, all of them will come. One of the arguments, if you read Jake Frederick Opare and so, was the fact that the party hasn't got the money because it's going to cost them 1 million Ghana cedis. However, if they do it at the regional basis, they're going to pay far less than that particular money. But Dangote's argument is also that, look, the members of the party contribute this much money to the party, and therefore they are completely at sea as to how come the MPP is unable to fund this or find the money to organize this particular election. So from look of things and what I have heard, and even some of the bits and pieces of information I've picked up from different sources, it appears that majority of the party members favor a separate form of a conference. We all converge at one place and elect the officials like they did in Kumasi, where Jacob Idulamte, Sir Jones, and Otiko Jabez and the rest of them, and the federal warriors were elected into office. They're not going to have a situation where we have a regional form. Then it's for the stewardship for the period that you were elected to run the party.
So those who are suggesting it's done at the regional levels, how are they also proposing that they get the executives, the outgoing executive, to actually account for their positions whilst in office?
Yeah, exactly. So that's the main position. They believe that, for example, like if you're asking the party officials to organize the elections at the 10 regions of Ghana, for example, how is it that you're going to render an account? Are you going to do a pre-recorded account and send the visuals across the regions? Or are you going to have the elections and come back and render an account? It just does not make sense apart from them. For them, they believe that, look, when all of us converge at one place, then you are able to tell us that this A, B, C, D happened. For the period that we are in there, this will happen. And the back of, and if you clearly listen to the argument, this whole thing has to be about the money. Does the party have money to organize the life? If the fact that even members of parliament are contributing, I've heard Kennedy Japan, the MP for Asen Central, for example, say that he personally can contribute that much. He's willing to even give 500,000 Ghana cedis to that effect. If you multiply that by how much the MPs are given, then clearly it shouldn't be an issue. A while ago, Sergio was on our network, and he admitted that yes, he cannot answer us whether or not they are broke or they are not broke, but they are in a stable position to push for this. So, I mean, it's going to be an equivalent tax, but what I have heard is that the Council of Elders is meeting tomorrow to firm up the position. So from local things, I think that, if my sources, the information I'm getting from my sources are correct, then it means that majority of the party members favor a centralized, conference where all of them will go and the national executives will be elected. Gladys.
All right, Annie, thank you very much. But from what Annie has been telling us, it doesn't look like NPP is broke. They have money, 35,000 Ghana cedis. That's a lot. So I don't think they
really have money.
I don't think they are broke. But monthly, 30 to 35,000 Ghana cedis.
It's strange when political parties are in power, they have money, and when they get into a position, they don't have money. What does it mean?
Big statement there.
I don't want to say anything. Let's look at what we have at 8 o'clock. And we will tell you, 2 persons have filed a suit at the Supreme Court against the University of Ghana's decision to charge tolls on the university's roads. A lawyer for the plaintiffs, Egbert Fable Jr., says the University of Ghana has not complied with relevant laws before attempting to introduce the road user fees. We'll get you more on this story at 8 o'clock.
Pressure Group Committee for Joint Action says it is going to mount pressure on government this year to establish a financial tribunal which would deal with cases of embezzlement and misapplication of public funds. The group notes it would use all means available to press home their demand for the establishment of the financial court. So for the details, you watch out for our news at 8.
And peasant farmers are asking the National Buffer Stock Company Limited to review their prices and involve them in their pricing negotiations. They are also worried about the deplorable nature of the company's warehousing, and they want government to come in and resource the company. You've been a wonderful viewer out there. We thank you so much for having stayed here with that Tarzan stick. It's coming up, but we'll have more at 8 o'clock. My name is Bright.
My name is Gladys Osei Radio. Thanks for your time.